Guys, doing another weekly outlook. So today is Sunday the 15th of January, so we're now halfway through, or essentially halfway through the first month of the year. So some really nice movement last week in the market. But before I jump into the charts, I want to cover the calendar for this week. All right. So guys, the main things you need to be aware of. Okay, looking at Monday, we definitely want to be aware of the Euro CPI news. This comes out at 2 a.m. So 2 a.m. Central Time here in the U.S. That is essentially London open. All right. So definitely be aware of that. Then during Asia, we have AUD Westpac Consumer Confidence. This is kind of hit or miss in terms of volatility or any manipulation that comes with it. So just be aware of it, but I think it'll be okay if you're trading around that time. Tuesday, we have some GDP news. Again, nothing here we need to be aware of. Euro CPI, again, this releases at 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. again, right before and then after the London Open. These you definitely need to be aware of. But then what I really want you guys focusing on for that day or just being aware of is going to be the CAD and JPY news. So the CAD, CPI, and inflation all release at 7:30, which is essentially the New York Open. And then we also have JPY interest rate decision releasing at late in Asia. So we definitely be aware of those. Wednesday, a lot of USD news. Again, nothing really here you need to be aware of other than the Euro CPI and inflation rate releasing at 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. And then Thursday and Friday, there's a lot of USD, a lot of GBP news, and some CAD news. Again, out of all this, you don't really need to focus or be aware of too much other than this JPY inflation rate. Everything else, all this jobs news, really we should have little effect on any sort of volatility or movement in the market. All right, so just be aware of the JPY inflation, again, releasing during the Asia session, okay? Having a look at our pairs. All right, so looking at Euro AUD first. So I was looking for sells here last week as I posted. All right, price pushed up into this 1.56 thousand level. Respected it, nice wicks, and then pulled down. However, coming into this week, I'm actually looking for possible buys from this level. So if you did catch this sell from here, you can now look for possible buy hedges from this level because it is somewhat in a bit of a range, or looks like it might be in a range lining up. It's not really a clear defined range as of yet, but we could always see price bounce from this 5,000 level back up into 6,000 and then maybe even into the highs. Otherwise, if this doesn't respect this level, then we can easily see a break retest to take this down into 1.54 thousand region through here. All right, so a bit of price action is still needed here on this on the buy setup. What I would be looking for would be something sort of like this. Ideally, if I can get something like that on like the hourly, that'd be perfect. But again, it just kind of depends on how price lines up. All right, it could just blow through this level, and then we can look for the sell setup later in the week. Otherwise, it just needs a lot of price action for now. But definitely something worth watching as we head into the new week. This is, out of all of these pairs here, this is definitely probably my favorite pair or setup to be watching for. AUD Swiss, there was a really nice sell here last week. Okay, obviously hit risk-free. Right now it's in between zones. I don't really have too much to say on this pair because it easily could pull back up in here where I could be looking for a sell. Otherwise, what I am currently favoring for this to pull down into this 0.64200 level to then respect this level and maybe even take this higher. Okay, so waiting for a bit more price action here, needs a bit, but definitely something maybe worth looking at maybe late Monday or Tuesday, just depending on exactly how price moves as we head into the new week. All right, so not really a pair I'm super interested in, but as we get more price action and it either begins to pull up into this top zone or bottom zone, we definitely can begin to put more time and attention into this pair. All right, AUD CAD, posted this on Friday that I was looking for sells from this level. Then I shortly after that, price began to push higher, and I said there's no sell set up here. Now we're looking for this to possibly retest like this as we head into the new week. So I was watching this very closely. As you can see here on the hourly, for example, there's just nothing. There's nothing indicating any bearish rejection, any exhaustion. Even on the 30-minute, there's just nothing here, right? So again, guys, you must wait for candle closures. You must wait for price action. Do not set. I don't trade using like a limits. I don't set limits and then just hope it plays out. To me, that's just gambling. It doesn't make sense. You must wait for price action. The market shows you what it's doing. The market literally prints candles that says, okay, based on this and this and this, like as you build your confluences, looking at your zones and your price points and the patterns and the rejections and things like that, the market tells you what it's doing. So it's your job as a trader to simply be patient enough and wait. Setting limits and things like that doesn't, it's just gambling. At least that's my opinion. Okay, everyone's different, but this is just a clear indication of that. So just by reading this price action, you can clearly see there's no sell set up. So what I'm looking for this week is a pullback down into this 0.93200 level to retest this, to take this up into 0.938, 0.94 thousand. Of course, assuming this isn't a fake out. If this is a fake out and price does this, then boom, we could be looking for that. All right. So if that does begin to line up later this week, I'll post about it in the public Discord with you guys. But for now, a bit of price action here is needed. AUD USD. So kind of messy here, to be honest. I am favoring a move higher overall, but before we see that move higher, what we might see is really a pullback down into here. Okay, the dollar is really bearish right now. We have to understand the dollar is super bearish. Like, we're in free fall, right? So, but we've just made this big move past 103.5, and it's kind of bottoming out here at this 102 level. So what we could always see is something like this before we see the move lower. And if we do get something like that, that means like a pair like AU might see a deeper pullback into like 0.68800, right? Otherwise, I am looking for it. Currently, I am looking for a buy setup from here if I was to get it, but I would be waiting for, higher time frame price action patterns, things like that. Otherwise, we could always just see, like I said earlier, something like this, and then a push down here, and then a bounce from there, right? So we'll see what we get. A bit of price action needed here, but definitely something worth watching maybe Monday or Tuesday, again, depending on how fast price sort of moves at market open. And then USD Swiss. Now, I'm very interested in this pair. All right, I'm looking at this pair pulling down into structure here, where I will be looking for a possible buy back up into this like range that it's in, right? So if price can pull down into here, it's a very nice sort of fake out sort of retest of this 0.92200 level. So if I can get something like this, be a nice sort of buy from here, that would be an easy, I think it's like an easy 1 to 4. Let's have a look. Yeah, 1 to 4. And then of course it could always break higher depending on what the dollar does this week. So that's what I'm looking for here. Bit of patience needed, but definitely something I'll be looking at probably Monday once price begins to pull down into that zone. All right, and I think EuroCAD was another pair I was sort of interested in. EuroCAD, I'm watching here for possible sells actually. 1.45 thousand fake out retest. Bit of a 2-hour pattern forming here as well. So if I can get something like this on like the hourly, then maybe we can see a nice sell. I'll also be watching maybe the 30-minute. Just depends on how price lines up, but definitely a pair I am interested in. All right, so as you can see here, guys, on these 2, 4, 6 pairs that I just covered, there's a lot lining up. With I'd say 3 or 4 of them needing a good amount of price action, but there's again 2 or 3 that could be worth looking at maybe this evening at market open, if not maybe tomorrow. All right. So yeah, that's it for now, guys. All right, have a great week. I wanted to get this video out to you quick so that way you guys could have this by the time market is open. So make sure you guys, of course, are always using proper risk management. All right, as a trader, you're gonna have wins, you're gonna have losses. It's important that you navigate through those in a good way to where your account is always growing slowly. Even if you have a loss, it's small losses, big wins. Small losses, big wins. You could have 1 or 2 losses back to back, but then get a 1 to 12 trade, and boom, now you're up 10%. So make sure you guys are always using proper risk management. Stay safe, and I'll update with you guys throughout the week in the public Discord.